Yeah.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
Welcome to the OK Dan Show. I am Chyna Elizabeth, the daughter.
And I am Titia Owens, the madre.
What we getting into today?
We are talking about the geriatric mom.
Wow.
So let me explain what that is before we introduce our guest. So the term geriatric mom is often used to refer to a woman who becomes pregnant at an older age, typically over the age of 35. The term geriatric is a medical term used to describe people over the age of 65. But it is also used to describe pregnancies in women over the age of 35. Okay.
Got you.
So this young lady here, I'm gonna let her explain who she is or introduce herself. But I want to say, first of all, this is one of my oldest friends. She and I go way back, and a lot of the times when people talk to this young lady, they always reference me because for whatever reason they feel like she emulates me, and she's a lot like me.
Wow.
So therefore I had to bring her on so we could set the record straight. There's two people. We are different. And I wanted her to let the people see her for who she is and not like I am. Okay. So who are you?
My name is Katrina Holly Tolliver, and I am very much like her. She may be a little bit more than I.
Is that true?
Yeah, very much so.
I so love Trina though. Let me just say this. Me and Trina have had fun over the years. She is funny. She is a great friend. She's very talented. She is a great singer as well as
Got them vocals.
Yeah, she got a little vocalization on her. And just a great person altogether. And she has her beautiful daughter with her.
Yes.
Who is that young lady over there?
I'm Italy Tolliver.
In Italy? How old are you?
I'm 16.
You're 16. Okay, so let's go right into why we have you here. So again, the term geriatric mom usually refers to a person who's had a child at 35 or older. Well, Trina had Italy at what age?
At 34.
At 34. And so even at 34, she was on that edge of geriatric. So we thought we'd have her come on and kind of give us a little bit of input or insight on that whole process of what that felt like and then what the doctors were telling her during that time. So Trina, if you don't mind, let's jump right into it and let's go back to when you were pregnant or even you were trying to get pregnant or what happened during that time. Tell us that.
Well, firstly, I will say that when you asked me about, or when you mentioned geriatric, it sounds old. It makes me sound like I'm extremely old. I'm not old. I want you to know that right now.
I know you're not old.
Okay, thank you. I will say right now that Italy is my angel. I did have one before her, and she passed away. And God had to soften my heart.
Okay, so let's talk about that a little bit. How old were you when that happened?
32.
32, okay.
32. And I carried my daughter for almost 6 months, and she passed away. And so God then had to continuously talk to me because at that time I really didn't know if I really wanted to have any more children. Although I'm a teacher. Did you know I'm a teacher?
Oh, she's a teacher.
Although I'm a teacher, I did not think that I wanted kids of my own. And again, God had to soften my heart to love on a baby, love on a child, sacrifice for a child, all of that. And so with that process, God blessed me with my angel, my little Italy.
I remember when you were pregnant with Italy.
I do too.
We were hearing about Italy before Italy got
even
here.
Italy. Yes.
So being that Italy was your angel, or that process when you knew you were pregnant, did you have any fears before she was born?
I did. I thought that maybe I was going to go through the same process I had before. There were lots of challenges, of course, that I had to endure.
Tell us those challenges.
Some of those challenges included I had to have a cerclage.
What is a cerclage?
It's where the doctor sews the womb up so that I can hold her more or longer, so that she can grow inside. And I had to do that at the 14th week. And then had to have a slew of doctors to give shots and things of that nature to further along her lung development and things of that nature. So it just took a lot.
Well, were they doing that more so for you, or were they doing it for the baby? Like
Doing
what
it for
could
the
they
baby.
see?
They were doing it for the baby.
Wow.
So when you were having the cerclage, so to speak, so tell me, what was that like for you? What kind of emotion were you going through during that time, or what even was the physical of that process?
When the doctor made mention of a cerclage, I had never heard of it before.
Right.
So it was very odd for him to consider it. But I went to a doctor, Dr. Blair.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Blair.
But he was an at-risk doctor. He saw patients that were at risk.
Okay.
And because of that, I felt like he was very knowledgeable of what I needed to endure, or what I needed to go through to make sure that she was brought
healthy
to
and safe.
that she was healthy. And so I trusted him to take me through that journey. Again, it was at the 14th week, my first time in the hospital, my first time ever experiencing any of these things. And so I had to have a whole lot of faith.
Yeah.
And I had to also have faith in the doctors that were serving me.
Wow.
Wow. So your husband is not here, but I would like for you to kind of tell us too, what was the process that he walked you through? Like, was he there during that time, or what was you all's relationship like during that time?
He was there, definitely. Of course, again, because she's our angel, he kept feeling like we were going to lose our second baby. And so he wanted to be there every minute, every hour. And he was, even as we were going through the process of just kind of making sure that we were pregnant, all of that, like he wasn't, he just really wanted to make sure that everything was good, that I was healthy, number one, and that we were bringing a baby that was healthy into this world.
So did you share any of that with Italy?
I did. I'm very honest with her about making sure that she understands the sacrifices that her mother took in order to bring her here. And when I say sacrifices, I mean sacrifice.
Heavy on the sacrifice. Heavy on it.
Sacrifice.
Biggest size on the sacrifice.
Giving up my whole body for this baby, right?
Wow.
So Italy, being that you hear about this sacrifice, tell me, what was that like when she shared with you about that experience? Do you remember how old you were when she first had that conversation?
I do remember it being like a really young age, and it wasn't constantly said, but I knew. So I felt like, sometimes I felt like, oh my God, so I've got to be perfect, because obviously she's done a lot for me. So I was just always going through the motions, like, okay, well, respect her, because like that's a lot. I personally don't know how that is, but I do know that that's got to be a lot from a lot of women's experiences. So.
Did you feel like the word sacrifice, did you feel like that put pressure on you because you would hear that?
Yes.
And how did that make you feel?
It made me feel, I understood where she was coming from, and I would be like, okay, to like get it together, stop whining, stop doing this, because you've got to be in it now, like you've got to be set in stone what you got going on, because you can't just be like, oh, I hate this and I hate that, because obviously she could have hated doing all of that. And I'm sure she did not like doing all that, but and I'm sure that she understood like that it was a sacrifice, and she understood that she wanted me. So
that is so good, Italy.
That is great.
Aww. So beautiful.
That is beautiful.
And I'm so glad that she shared that with you, because it gave you the opportunity to understand it, take it all in, and it caused you to have to understand what sacrifice really meant. Because a lot of people, or a lot of young people your age, they don't really understand what that means for a parent to have to sacrifice. And again, it was worth it for her because she wanted you, which is such a beautiful thing too, to know that your mom wanted you here. A lot of young people don't get that as well. So, how do you feel knowing that your mom was, even though she had somewhat of a fear, she wanted a healthy baby, and she was hoping that you got here, because she told everybody about you before you arrived?
Well, there were a lot of times I do hear my friends like say, "Oh, I don't think my mom wanted me," but I'm very sure that my mom wanted me, because there's no way that she would have gone through all that just to be like, oh, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of stuff. And when she first told me about it, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because that is just drastic.
Yeah.
So I feel great that she wanted me, I don't I don't always feel that pressure anymore because I know that I'm here for a reason.
Yeah.
I know that's right, bro.
You better be here for a reason.
That's so
Or
good.
2 or 3 or 4.
Or 5
5
or
or
6.
6.
I think y'all related.
Right.
A little bit.
So I want to ask, because I always contemplate if I want to have children or not, and if I do, I would want to wait later. So, like, what would you say the benefit for you was having a baby at such? You weren't old, but
Later on in life.
older than
Later on in
expected.
life.
You know, a little later.
Little.
And that is the goal for me. I don't want to be in my 20s having no baby. So, yeah.
I think that I wanted to, when I got out of college, I wanted to have my career. I wanted to establish myself. You know, when we get out of college, we want to make sure all the things are checked off. You know, I've lived my life. I've done these things.
Yeah.
And now I can get married. And now I can have the house. And now I can have the children. I think that it has been a great benefit. I think at some point, that I kind of regret waiting so late, but I wouldn't have it any other way now.
Yeah.
Why would you regret it?
Because a lot of the moms that I get to collaborate with when it comes to Italy, they're a lot younger. And I'm obviously older, and so my ways are older. My rearing her up is a little bit older. I'm a little bit more strict. And her friends' parents are not.
I get that.
That's good. Well, what I love about it, though, Trina, is you've been such a parent to so many of the students, too, that you teach. So I'd like for you to share even in that, because you said you were questioning prior to becoming pregnant, you were questioning parenting because I think you were managing so many children. Did that play a role in why you waited so long? Or
I believe so. I think that, and I always tell Italy, I bring a lot of my kids' challenges home with me. And I'm always praying over them, always, you know, wondering if they're good or, you know, just making sure that they're healthy.
Yeah.
And I teach 600 plus kids. And just imagine bringing all of that home and then now having to
Absolutely
put that
not.
to the side so that you can take care of your own. Yeah, they did.
That's amazing.
Chyna was saying absolutely
I
not
would
Absolutely
never.
not.
when you were saying that.
600.
Never.
Yeah.
I don't like kids.
I used to be that way.
I know that about me. I don't think that's ever going
But
to
she's
change.
going to eat those words just like I did.
I did too.
Because, you know, prior to me having children, that was not on my list of achievements.
She's great with kids, though. I don't have that.
Yes, she is great with kids.
I will tell you, run away. Please.
You were good with me. We hung out.
We definitely did.
We hung out.
That's
we,
why
we
I
had
said
fun.
she acts like she's not as good with kids, but everybody loves Chyna.
Yeah.
Like even her little cousins and her little brothers, even they're like Chyna. She's like,
That's great for them. That's their perspective. You know what I'm saying? I still be in my head like, when is the time gonna go? I'm a very introverted person anyway, so I think it's just I don't like people. It's not even kids. I think it's all around.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
so y'all see, we have a podcast where we talk to people.
Yeah, and it's different. I've grown more into my extroverted side, but back then,
It's a no.
No.
immediately no. Immediately no. But anyways, off of that.
Okay, so let me ask you, Trina, when you were going through the pregnancy with Italy and you heard about these different things that you were going to have to experience, tell me some of the other things that were happening. Were you dealing with high blood pressure? Were you dealing with bloating or any types of side effects that might have been happening during the pregnancy?
Check. Yes. High blood pressure, bloating. Even in the time that I was carrying her, I was in the hospital a lot. And I was in the hospital a lot because the doctors were concerned. I remember, and I think you remember as well, we were working together,
Yeah.
and I got a fever. during a summer day, and it was like 114
Jesus.
outside, but I had the heater on in the car, and I was extremely cold, and I had called Titia, I called you, and said something must not be right because I'm freezing. And the doctor at that time, because he was an at risk, he saw pregnancies or at risk pregnancies, then he called me and told me immediately to go to emergency. I was having a fever, I was having some challenges, and I even missed my baby shower.
Yes.
Wow.
You say that.
You made me miss my baby shower. I missed my baby shower.
I am so
I missed
sorry.
my baby shower. I stayed in the hospital for 2 days.
And you
My
said
husband had to go to the baby shower. I was not there.
You told me.
I was not there, and I heard it was really nice.
Yes, you told. This is one of those things that she has told me a lot. And I missed my baby shower because of you. It's
So do we need to have your baby shower?
Yes. We need to roll that back.
15 years later.
child, and we need to have it now.
We need to have her baby shower, y'all.
That
We need to
is
plan
so
Trina a go back baby shower.
I missed my baby shower, and then I started school. I decorated my room, and the doctor said that you needed to be on bed rest. So I didn't even get to see my students the first day of school because you made me miss my first day of school.
I'm telling you, this is exactly how.
Italy.
This is exactly how I've heard it several times.
Italy, I'm gonna whoop your mama.
I'm
telling
sorry.
you right now.
I've apologized. I've apologized.
It's the resentment.
I've apologized.
And I whoop adults, just so you know, Italy.
But yes, there were lots of doctor's visits, and the nurse ended up having to come over to my house every other week to put shots in the hips. You remember that conversation?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
What you told her that too?
Did. And I also kept the circlage so that she could see what the
Oh
circlage
my
looked
God.
like.
That is
It's the stitch.
stitch.
It's
We
okay.
don't want to
She's
see
got
it.
it.
Okay.
We don't
She's
want the
got it.
visualization.
Just wanted you to know.
We take your word for it.
Okay.
There's
was
not one
different.
detail that was left
I
out.
have pictures.
That's different.
I have tools.
Do you? Italy is scarred.
I mean, literally. She wasn't even here
No,
yet.
yes.
But she made it known after she was here. You gonna know exactly.
Yes. I asked her, because there's a scar, obviously. Because I asked her one day. I asked her, "What is that, Mommy?" And she's like, "Well, that's where they opened me up and pulled you out, took all my guts out and pulled you out, and then they stitched me up, and then I fell asleep, girly."
How long was I?
Really at the end of the night.
How long was I in labor? How long was I in labor?
It was weeks.
How many?
Weeks?
Sorry, weeks.
How long?
4?
3. I was in labor for 3 weeks.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to, man.
God has
How
mercy.
was that?
The doctor tried to induce the labor, and she wasn't ready to come.
Wow.
And so he forced me into labor for 3 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And then I still had to have a C-section.
Oh, wow.
You knew I was stubborn before I was stubborn.
Talk about
That's
that.
amazing.
Talk about that.
That is amazing.
But again, these are the processes that come with having pregnancies at later ages in the 33, 34, 35 on up. It is always a caution. There are cautionary measures that we have to take, and we have a lot of concerns that they're concerned about us having children at that age because of those different side effects that are consequences, so to speak, that or risk that can happen during that time. So I'm just happy to see you here with Italy, and I would like for you to share with the audience just some of the benefits. Also, we've heard about the not so good things that came from the pregnancy, but let's talk about some of the benefits that occurred. What are some of the experiences that you remember that you won't ever forget? What were some of the highlight moments, whether it be with Italy, the pregnancy itself, or your husband, what that process looked like?
It's interesting you asked that question because when I lost my first daughter, my husband and I were not on good terms.
Okay.
And to lose that daughter brought us closer.
Okay.
Wow.
And then when we got pregnant with Italy, it brought us closer even more. But it also brought like a revelation into the family. Not just my husband, but my mom, my sisters, my brother, they all were an intricate part of making sure she was brought to this world. Some of those benefits that I've seen is that although I expressed that there were some challenges of waiting so late, the benefits now are that I've grown up, I've matured. And in the maturing of the entire process, I found that like God was positioning me for this one child. And while I didn't see it then, now I am finding myself a person or advocate for women who also lose their children. And I didn't notice it. I didn't see it then, but I found myself in a place of where I could now relate to another young lady who may have lost a child, give some type of helpful advice, help her and encourage her in some kind of way, pray for her. And I can also say, I know what you're feeling. And actually that person actually believe it. But a lot of maturing definitely had to take place in order for me to bring this baby to the world.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So what would you say about your mom, Italy? What are some pluses about your mom?
I honestly think my mom's pretty cool.
Okay.
I mean, look at her. She's got, all these piercings, all these cute little nails. She's got the hair done. And my friends, even just my friends, are like, your mom is just, like, the coolest. Like, my mom would never. And I'm like, yeah, I know.
I love it.
I know.
love it.
She pulls up in her car. Oh, my God. Italy's mom has a space car. Like,
Oh, my God. What kind of car do you drive?
Here we go. That's not necessary.
What is it?
It's just, it's got ambient lights. And stuff.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, fancy.
I like the ambience light.
I like it.
I don't have them.
Me either. Me either. Want me to ambient light?
Yeah, so I think she's pretty cool, as much as I don't see her as an older parent.
Got it.
I don't see her like that because I honestly didn't know how old my mom was till like maybe 2 years ago.
Wow.
Because I always told her like, you act like you're like 30 or something. Like, I don't know how old you are.
I thought it was 25 forever.
Sorry. Rewind. 25.
25 is a great age.
It's a great age. Yeah. So I always thought of her. I didn't see her as older because I grew up with friends who had older parents.
Yeah.
But when my mom was like, yeah, I'm like an older parent, I was like, no.
Right.
No way.
Yeah.
Because you don't even look like it. You don't talk like it. No.
Yeah.
Just
you couldn't
overall,
see it.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right for you then.
Got the good genes. Good mama, cool mama.
Don't be the cool mom and stuff. And the kids used to say that about Trina in school too. When we worked together at Fellowship Christian Academy, they were either coming to my desk after getting in trouble, or they were trying to go to her room because they just loved being in her room. She always had a creative space for them to dream and create, and that was always what she was known for, was being the cool teacher. So I do remember that. So that's the reputation that still remains, apparently.
Yeah. So how has y'all's relationship been? Like, have y'all always had a good relationship, or over time did it have to grow, or you just kind of set in stone?
Me in Italy? Oh.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Did you want to speak about that? You want me to speak about it?
I'll speak about it.
Oh, okay.
I feel like her being my mom kind of spoiled me. So I was always that kid that was like, oh my God, I have this and I have this and your mom didn't get you this. And I was like, I was like, my mom is going to get it for me no matter what, because my mom is. Like, she's just like that. She's like, if you do good, you get this, you do that, you do well, you do this. And it is, I am spoiled.
I'm not successful, you're spoiled.
I am spoiled.
So let's get it spoiled.
Yes, and anytime I felt like someone was like, no, I was like, oh my God, no. Like, I was like, no, I can't. I need it though, Mom. And she's like, no. And then I, had my little fit. And then I've grown out of my fit phase.
Bless your heart.
Oh.
I think one of the things that, just to speak to that, I think one of the things that is not necessarily shared in this sense is that because she was the angel, then everyone spoiled her because they wanted to love on her so much. Not only that, she's the only daughter for so long. She's the only granddaughter. And so when we lost the first one and then we had her, then they were like, oh my God, we got to love on her. Whatever she wants, she can get. Whatever she wants to do, she can do. All of those things. And so that's why I think that she also maybe identified as spoiled. But there's also some stubbornness in there too, right?
Yes.
Because obviously I was in labor for 3 weeks. Okay, I'm going back. I was in labor for 3 weeks. Okay, so I was in labor for 3 weeks. And
I can't.
1, 2, and 3.
I'm gonna do 3 again. Okay, so I was in labor for 3, and with that said, that meant that she was also stubborn. There's some times that we've had some challenges, right? You want to speak to that?
I feel like our challenges are my stubbornness, and then both of our personalities mixed together are like I think sometimes clash, and that kind of causes some friction. And I feel like we've gotten a lot better with like getting over it.
Yeah.
Because I try so hard not to like be that person, be stubborn and stuff, because she's always like she always says a positive mind is like a positive attitude. And I hear that from her, and I'm like, yeah, I get that.
Positive mind brings a positive attitude.
Yeah, so I try to stay with what she's saying to me. I'm like, okay, I understand, mommy. Let me take my break to like understand fully what I need to do for myself.
Yeah.
Because we've got to take that step back and be like, I've done stuff too. Like, you can't just blame it on your parents.
Do you think that because I'm older that I'm a little bit more stricter than your friend's parents?
Yes.
She said that quickly.
Very much so.
What is
Yes.
that?
Listen, guys. Okay.
I can agree though. But go ahead.
Listen. So, younger parents are less tethered. They're more like, oh, you're going to the mall? Great. See you in an hour. My mom is more like, who are you going with?
Right. We need to talk to them
What car are you
first.
getting in? You're not getting in that car. Who are you going with? Like, why? Why are you going? And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So then I'm texting my friends, details. We need details.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I'm going if you do not have the plan out.
Do you end up going?
And I end up going
You went only once
with a plan.
with a full plan.
With a full written plan and phone numbers from both parents and the recipient that I'm going with. And I think that's a protection thing.
Of course.
I don't see it as, I used to see it as like last year. I saw it as oh my God, mom.
I'm so strict.
She's so strict, guys. But no, she's not. She's strict, but within boundary.
Very
That's
good.
good.
Well, I think it's so necessary today. Like this whole show, we talk a lot about different ways individuals parent, and the reason why we talk about it so much is because parents are so lenient today. They are not as inquisitive about what is going on behind the scenes. They're more lenient with going with whatever their child says, and they're not given enough boundaries or rules, I believe. Now, I can't speak for every parent, but I'm just saying what I've seen lately and what has been around me are a lot of children that have freedoms that I just didn't allow. And so I'm very grateful to hear that Trina is setting boundaries, she has rules, and that you respect them, that you understand that they are for your benefit and not to harm you. It's just that when a parent is wanting to know that their child is safe, and there's so much going on in the world, as we see every time we look on the news, it's a different story. So to make sure we're understanding that our kids are okay, that is the object. That is what we're trying to do, is make sure that you're in a safe environment and that we know where you are. And so that doesn't come with necessarily just being a geriatric mom. That's across the board. When you care about your child and they're out of your presence, you want to know why are they out of your presence, what are they going to be doing, and all those specific details are important.
Very much so. All right. Well, I want to know, what are y'all okay with?
Yeah. So
In all aspects.
So when you come on our show, after you've listened to everything that we've said and we've talked about things, you have to come up with what you're okay with.
Okay.
So what are you okay with?
I'm okay with having this wonderful child of mine, Miss Italy Tyler.
So cute. I'm okay with growing as like your daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Give me some sugar.
So cute.
So sweet.
Got lipstick on my forehead.
Yo.
She's such a girly
Be the
girl.
same way. This way.
Oh wait, before we go, we didn't do a makeup break. Oh, do you have some makeup?
I can always use some gloss.
Yeah, I think I need a little bit of powder. Again, I always got to get rid of my shine. What you got? Oh, you got some mascara. You need my mirror.
Thank you.
I got you on the mirror.
Thank you.
So funny.
Put my little powder on.
Let me see.
So what I do then, I'm gonna go and get into what I'm okay with. I'm okay with waiting until I'm about 35 till I have some kids. I want to be married at least 5 years, and I don't have a man or a husband in sight. So therefore, it's gonna be another 10 years. So I'm thinking, 33, 35, maybe around that time. I'm okay with that.
Your mom said, She said,
So,
Yeah.
like Trina was saying, most moms that speak like that, it's okay to have that thought process. But most moms that literally wait to that age, they do regret that they waited that late. They wished that they would have started early. I can even say that. I was pregnant with your brother, I believe.
27.
I was 27.
Me 29.
Yeah, and you were 29. I was 29 when I had you. And I remember even thinking, I wished I would have started earlier.
Why?
I don't know what that is. I think because when you have your children older or at an older age, you just feel like you've lost time with them. You would have liked to have done things with them sooner. And then you start thinking about your grandchildren.
I agree.
You start thinking about them. I don't know what that is. When you start having kids, you also start thinking about grandkids. I think it's just a thing. I don't know what that is, and I can't speak for everybody, but I'll say most of the moms that, especially when your kids get like a teenage year, you start talking about when they get married, you start talking about them having a family, and you start planning your time span, just like the time that you live and all that. So you start wanting things earlier for whatever reason. And I know most moms, not all moms, but most moms feel like that.
Well, if that's what God has for me, then I'll allow it. But if not, we're gonna wait on it.
hallelujah.
I'ma wait. I like my freedom. I like to do what I like to do, and I want to spend time with my husband. I want to be able to live a good amount of time with just me and my man. Whenever that happens, Jesus.
She's singing over you.
I ain't listening to her.
Okay, then.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm okay with is knowing that I have a friend who has done a great job with her daughter.
Yes.
And I am okay with seeing how it is okay to have a child later on in life. It is okay. And you can be fine. It's a process that you go through just like with any other parenting, but it's still okay.
I think so too.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, I must say,
Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord.
I have enjoyed you ladies on today.
Me too. It's been great. Thank y'all so much for coming.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
you
you.
guys are
Thank you.
amazing.
Yeah.
And so we've dealt with the geriatric mom, even though she was 34 when she had Miss Italy. But again, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, or there's something you want to speak to about this, share it in the comments.
Yes.
You can watch us each Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. on YouTube,
And you can listen on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Anchor.
Same thing. Yeah, but make sure y'all subscribing and liking and letting us know your thoughts. And come back and see us every week now.
Every week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. on the YouTube. Okay, then. So we're going to say bye together on 1, 2, 3.
Okay then. Bye then.